Hello YouTube, trying to figure out my boat motor today. Gonna post this on a few forums, hopefully get some advice, see what I can do. First of all, my story is I've got a 1998 Mariner 225 3.0 liter V6 outboard motor. It is carbureted with oil injection. It has a rebuilt power head on it. It appears that the powerhead was originally manufactured in 1993 and was not sold until 1996 after looking up the serial number on MercuryNet, the website. The issue that I'm having is it runs pig rich, kicks back at idle, very low on power, will hardly get the boat on plane. It's on a 20-foot ProCraft bass boat, which it should have enough power to pretty much give me whiplash when I hit the throttle. It's not. It barely has enough power to even get me on plane, even if the boat's completely empty and it's just me in it. Idling out of the water, it's blowing. I mean, like I said, it's pig rich. The prop's all black, oily. You can see all the unburnt fuel. Took it to a mechanic, checked everything out. Put a brand new stator on it. That was not an issue. At one point, I only had 3 cylinders firing. That was the safety kill switch for the shifter. It drops 3 cylinders when you shift into gear to help, keep you from tearing up shafts and stuff. Replaced that. We had fire on all 6 plugs again, so that was eliminated. All the carburetors been rebuilt, fuel pumps rebuilt, fuel pump tests good, all the carburetors test good and look perfect. Could not find a single thing wrong with any of that. It does have the correct spark plugs in it for that year. I've ran another set just to verify. That didn't help. Had a few people ask me what water level I'm running it in. It doesn't matter whether it's out of the water, in the water. It's on a hydraulic jack plate. I can raise it up. I can raise it down. I can pull it out. It does the same thing over and over. So there's something wrong. And the mechanic I took it to admitted to that. What he seems to think, here's my issue. This part of the crankcase here, behind this bleed system that's diagrammed, has a VIN on it of 1994. However, this half of the crankcase does not have a VIN or any identification numbers whatsoever. This is the bleed system routing that is currently on the motor. This is exactly how it's routed for that year model. And based on the VIN on this side of the crankcase, or the cylinders, that's correct. This is the way it's supposed to be run. However, this part of the crankcase, as seen in this other page, does not match. This is a view looking forward into the bottom of the crankcase. So in other words, you'd pull the carbs, pull your reed block off, and this is what you would be looking at. Okay, these little check valves for that year model show in the Mercury manual to go in these. There's one per cylinder. Okay, all the way around. And it says here, it's got the year listed, the models, but it says 1997 models do not have front-mounted bleed check valves. Okay, but it's saying for my year model it should. Well, my year model, when you pull it off, this is what 1997 has, a dead plug. Okay, it's just a piece of metal you just put in there. There is no check valve. Mine, you pull it off, there's not even a provision to put these in it. They're gone. They're not even in there. Okay, so it's just a blank piece of metal, which would lead me to believe maybe it's off an earlier, like a fuel injected motor or something. My question is, will that work? I mean, obviously in 1997 they didn't have these check valves, so do I need to switch to the 1997 bleed routing? In other words, do away with this and switch to the bleed routing of the 97 model? I don't know. That's something I'm not an outboard expert. I don't know enough about Mercury's, but I'm hoping somebody can answer that for me, because I got a feeling that it has something to do with this. After we ran the motor for a very short time, we pulled this little bleed line off right here, and fuel, oxygenated fuel and oil literally came pouring out of this thing. The mechanic said after he ran it for about an hour, he literally had like a cup full of fuel come pouring out of there. So it's just pig rich. It's getting fuel from somewhere, a lot more than it should. He seems to think that this recirc system is not working properly because of my crankcase issue. Maybe this needs to be reconfigured for a 97 model that does not have them. Is that a possibility for me to even do? That's my next question. And then the other question is, will it affect it enough to have that much fuel coming out of that crankcase? The only other thing I know to check that I was suggested to do is to make sure that my choke is not staying stuck open. And that's a valid point because I know my choke was not working when I got it. So this weekend I'm going to check that out. And if the choke's, not dumping fuel in there, then that's going to bring me back to this, So if anybody has some helpful advice on this, I'd really like to get some input. My VIN fits right in between these numbers, so this is in fact what's on the motor right here. This is in fact what's supposed to be on the motor, but it's not, okay? Mine's just, like I said again, it's just blank. There is no provision for putting either a block or a check valve. Yet, it does have the provisions to hook your hoses up. 1, 2, and 3. So I'm pretty much stumped, basically. If a Mercury expert could help me out, man, I'd really appreciate it. I guess that's all for now. Signing out.